Hello friends, welcome back to this new segment of having newspaper reading with all of you. Hopefully you liked yesterday's newspaper reading. Today is 9th of July 2021. We are getting back with this newspaper. Again, I'm just wanted to repeating this thing. This is a newspaper reading session where on top of newspaper reading, I'll probably be sharing some of my viewpoints which might not be correct. I do not claim that I know the best. So if somebody don't like my viewpoint or think that I'm actually incorrect someplace, I'm happy to take the suggestion. Abide by Indian rule. New IT Minister Vaishnav to Twitter. This Twitter game, man. I'm not sure what's happening with this Twitter, man. Social media platform must be accountable. Supreme Court says this. Noting attempts by Australia, the UK and the US in reining in social media platform, giving complaints about their behavior in the free speech advocating democracy, the Supreme Court on Thursday said that the platform with the potential to influence public opinion must be held accountable for spread of disruptive message and hate speech. While dealing with the controversy over the Delhi Assembly Committee summoning Facebook Vice President Ajit Mohan for a spread of hate messages during Delhi riot, a bench of Justice S.K. Kaul, Dinesh Maheshwari and Harishika Roy said entities like Facebook have to remain accountable to those who trust them with such power. With power comes the responsibilities. Ashwini Vaishnav took charge as in country's new IT communication and railway ministry and emphasized that companies doing business in India, including social media giants such as Twitter, would need to be abide by the law of the land. One thing I'm very sure about, what international law of business says, that the most stringent law need to be followed. When I say most stringent, let's say if the international law said I cannot do something, but the local law says that you can do that thing, then in that case the most stringent rule means the international law, which became you cannot do that thing. Okay, let's say I am a local body who do business just in this place. In that case, possibly I only are governed by the local law. And most importantly, if in case a local law is very stringent, that needs to be followed by any international body, because local law of the land, which is also called as law of the land, is the most respectable law for any business to do business on that particular location. You need to follow the law of the land. Probably you can bend some of the rules from the international law, which might give you an advantage based on your local law. Let's say some of the local law says that you can tax 10%, whereas the international law says you can tax only 5%. You can again go back and say that, okay, since local law says that we can tax 10%, probably you can tax 10%. But what I believe is your local law should be respected at any cost, being an international body. I know there might be a debate saying that whether the validity of the IT rule is there or not, but I think to identify the validity of anything that is passed by the government of India through lower house and upper house discussion, I think that should be a completely internal discussion, which I think some of the people have already done a PIL through different courts, which I think Center is trying to accumulate that in the Supreme Court so that they can represent them all together at once. But I think Twitter does not have anything to do with it. I know China does not allow to go out any news outside of China, whether you are a national body or international newspaper, journalism, whatever it is. What can you do at that point? Can you go there and say that I have a free speech and I can go and say anything? No, you cannot do that, right? I'm not saying that that's good. That's really not good. But That's law of land. You cannot go ahead and do anything, whatever you wish to, right? And for my viewers, I want to tell you, the free speech and the way you speak, there is a very fine line between your free speech and somebody getting hurt. Religious sentiment, political sentiment, blah blah blah, anything. Let's say I'm talking something, for example, for this particular video, maybe some of the people not liking me, that can be also possible, but that does not mean I cannot do, because I am not hurting anybody, right? But in case I am hurting anybody, and sometimes it might also happen that if a thief is there and I'm saying he is a thief, he might get hurt, but that does not mean that I'm wrong. In that case, that is my freedom of speech. But if, let's say, there is a prostitute and I go around and say, hey, this is a prostitute, I am not wrong. That person is a prostitute, but that's not right? So you need to understand between your free speech, where you're right and where you're wrong. There's a very fine line. It's your sense, it's your ability to distinguish between those two are very important. Delhi House panel can summon FB, Supreme Court. So basically Supreme Court has said that Delhi legislature can definitely summon Facebook. Dismissing the plea filed by Facebook India Vice President MD Ajit Mohan challenging summon by Delhi Assembly Peace and Harmony Committee, the Supreme Court on Thursday ruled that the panel was within its right to summon Mohan as witness. However, the Supreme Court also said the committee, which is headed by AAP MLA Raghav Chadda, and is inquiring into the Delhi riot, could not be prejudged